What's the oldest thing in the workshop that you've made?
The oldest thing in the workshop that I've made? I'd probably say my son, but he's not here. Let me have a look. I've only been here 22, 23 years, but a lot of the tongs, I made lots of the tongs myself. We always make our own tools, and throughout history the blacksmith has been called the king of trades, and the reason for that is because we supply not only our own tools but everybody else's.
Do you ever just make tools for fun? Because it looks like you have a lot of tools down here that I don't know if they're for sale or not, but do you ever just make them for fun?
Sometimes I make tools not necessarily for fun, but maybe for personal interest. I'll see some interesting tools that have been used throughout history, some of the really strange tools that you'd see for different trades. There's a lovely tool hanging on the wall just behind you there, and it's you can't see it very well, but it's a knife with a long handle on it with a wooden handle on the end, and those tools were used for making wooden clogs. And there are still people that make wooden clogs, but I think there's probably only about 3 in the country that do it, and consequently you can't ever buy any of those tools. So I made 1 or 2. I sold one, and I've kept one as an example. Of course, on the Ridgeway there's been an awful lot of tools that have been found, and even in our own village there was a nice Bronze Age axe head found when they excavated the ground for the White Horse, when they first built the White Horse. And the tools haven't really changed much at all. I still make tools that are very similar to the ones that were used in years and years, centuries gone by here. And in fact, when they were excavating an archaeological dig up near the waterworks, just up from the pond, an archaeologist friend of mine, he brought me a picture of something that they'd found. It was a pair of tongs with a bent handle on one side, and they were lost as to what these were used for. And I said, well, I know, because I still use them. And they're actually used for what we call drawing wire. And you put wire through a small hole and you hold it with these tongs, and because there's a bend in it, you can hold it and grip it and pull the wire without losing your grip on the tongs. And it turns out that these tongs were also found with some chainmail. So the wire was drawn through what they called a draw plate, which they also found, and then they would make the wire into chainmail. It would be chainmail for military purposes, probably 12th to 14th century, which is a long time ago, and that was in our village.